This is the Aputure Delta Pro. It's a lot like the EcoFlow Delta Pro because, well, it's the same thing. Doing a comparison video of the two units would be a little bit silly. So why is Aputure collaborating with EcoFlow on this white label version of the Delta Pro? And what does either company really have to gain? Well, I have a few thoughts. And for those of you that don't know what this is or why it's exciting, really quickly, it's got a 3.6 kilowatt battery and it can output 3.6 kilowatts of AC power, which will power just about anything in your arsenal. Conveniently, most of Aputure's fixtures are labeled with a number which tells you how much power they consume at 100% intensity. So for example, the Aputure 1200D would consume about 1200 watts if you were running it full power. You can use that to determine how long this can power your fixtures. It's got a super convenient app that tells you how much power your power station has left, how fast it's charging, how much power it's using. And it works on Wi-Fi, so you can go really far away and turn the AC outlets or the DC outlets on and off. It's got a bunch of different ways to charge. It's got wheels and a luggage handle. And it weighs like over 100 pounds. I think Aputure noticed how popular the portable power stations and solar generator market were becoming with filmmakers, particularly the likes of the Delta Pro, because it's got more output power, more battery capacity, and can charge more quickly than almost every other power station on the market. And just offering the same product but with a little bit of Aputure's branding on it is kind of a nice touch for anyone that was already going to buy one for the same purpose of using it on set. And as an added bonus, on set, anyone who doesn't really know what the Aputure Delta Pro is, just looking at the product and seeing it for the first time, they will still immediately know that it probably belongs with all of the other things with the Aputure logo on it. But I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. Of course, this is all speculation, and now would be a good time to subscribe if you aren't already. But this is a great way for Aputure and EcoFlow to determine the appetite of a segregate market for a product that's already being bought and used on set. And if the demand is high enough, they might be prompted to develop more filmmaker-specific features or develop more filmmaker-focused firmware for the existing products. For example, right now, the Aputure Delta Pro, even with the latest firmware, still produces a rather unpleasant fan noise when it's being used in any real capacity. Unpleasant in the scenario that you're recording audio, like I am, within a few feet or in the same room that the power station is. Of course, the fan noise is significantly less than what you get with like a gas power generator, which these are meant to replace, and you have tons of advantages like being able to use it indoors or charge it with solar panels like what I do. Also, gas power generators are still a normal thing. They're cheap to run and they're generally pretty reliable. On that note, EcoFlow also sells a dual fuel generator that if you didn't care about or don't have any solar, or you run out of battery power at night, you can actually plug it directly into the Delta Pro and charge it up with gas or LPG. A standard 20-pound LPG tank will give you 20 kilowatt hours, which would be like having 5.5 fully charged Delta Pros ready to go. But this isn't a video about EcoFlow's gas generator thing, so I digress. I prefer to use solar to charge my Aputure and EcoFlow Delta Pros because it's clean and free once you've got the solar panels, and the unit can handle up to 1600 watts of solar input. That means it would charge to completely full in roughly 3 hours. The way I have my solar array organized is kind of out of the way in my backyard, and it will generally pull about 1 kilowatt in full sun, so it charges these things up in about 4 hours. My personal studio setup is a little unique in that out of all my battery and generator equipment that I've collected so far, the Delta Pro is still the most superior product in terms of output power, solar input, feature set, like being able to monitor it over Wi-Fi or expand the system to like 25 kilowatt hours or integrate it with your house. I still use a smaller power station to power my indoor studio because it has much less fan noise. And I know it might look like it's really roomy in here, but this is like a 9-foot by 10-foot small bedroom size room. So noise carries really easily. So for that reason only, I'm not using the Delta Pro to power all the lights in my studio. If I properly integrated the Delta Pros into my house with something like a transfer switch and like their smart home panel, I could easily tuck these things away in my garage and power my wall circuit with them, which is something I may end up doing because the Delta Pro is a very versatile tool. It checks a lot of different boxes for a lot of different use cases, and I'm interested in learning more about this technology. It's great for filmmakers that need to run powerful lights for a long time, like the Aputure 1200D and a couple of Nova P600Cs together at the same time, all at 100% intensity for like an hour and a half in a remote location. Or for like general backup power, if you want to keep your food frozen or run an air conditioner for a few hours in blistering heat during like a power outage, or even power an off-grid homestead, which are all applications that people use these things for. And now that I have two of them, I could combine them with the dual voltage hub, which is another product that EcoFlow sells, which would let me get a 240 volt outlet. Combined, you can output up to 7.2 kilowatts or 7,200 watts, which you could run something crazy like a well pump, which is insane for a portable battery system that you can charge with the sun. I have a lot of appreciation for this tech, and I really like that you can stick it on Wi-Fi, monitor the power generation or battery level, and turn on or off AC outlets remotely. And they recently added an always on feature with their firmware that will restore the AC outlet power after it gets a charge from solar if it had to turn off because it ran out of battery, which is fantastic. EcoFlow is listening to their customers, and Aputure is known for building exactly what their customers are asking for. So I have a really good feeling about this brand collaboration. What kind of features are you looking for? Let me know in the comments. I think, as is, the product is already pretty amazing, and it's obvious why Aputure started collaborating with EcoFlow. And while Aputure did send me this Delta Pro for this video, the EcoFlow Delta Pro is still the only power station that I've invested my own personal money in unprompted, because it was the most powerful and the most useful option on the market at the time. And with a bit of encouragement, we will probably see even more exciting developments in the power station market, specifically to the needs of creators and filmmakers. So if you want to grab the Aputure Delta Pro, there's a link to where you can find it in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.